It's your boy Nizzy with another High School League recap for Overwatch. This week, we only had a couple games, so we are combining Overwatch D1 and D2 for Week 4. And here are your matchups. Go ahead and take a look at them. We are going to get started with the top 5 special week combined top 5 plays. And starting off at number 5, it's going to be a Division 2 play from Hollidaysburg. Look at V Snipes on the Hammond. Getting a team wipe with the help of his team and his ult. Getting that number 5 play. And take a look at number 4. I love this play because WASD Esports number 6 of Windber avoids the shatter from the enemy Rhine. Goes around the corner, gets a Riptire for a double, and takes out the Reaper for a triple. Love that play. Go on to number 3. Speaking of hammer, boom! 3 on the ground for Carroll 6. Big shatter. And cleans up for a triple there before he gets taken out, but they win the point on that. Going on to number 2, it's Arson Uwu of Somerset. 20 HP and a dream. Boom. Goes in the back line, gets a big assist from a shatter. A lot of shatter plays this week. On the ground, gets a triple with that and gets out with his life. And number 1, it's going to be Carroll 4 of Bishop Carroll with a massive ult. He's going to take out 3 there. Both supports. Tries to remech on the player, but doesn't even need it. Gets the Zarya out for that 4th elimination, and the 5th elimination goes down the Junkrat. 2-0 is Bishop Carroll's victory. Windber takes out Somerset 2-1. And here are the standings for Division 1. Forest Hills undefeated. We'll see you next week. Nizzy's out.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Esports Company High School League Overwatch Division 1 Spring 2022 season. I am Joker's Ransom, and I'm here alongside Lord Thethan. Thethan, how are you doing, good sir, on this fine Wednesday?
Oh, it is a fine Wednesday indeed. Thank you for the intro, Joker. And, well, I said this last week. I'll say it again. I always look forward to the TEC High School League Division 1 games. It's not quite the collegiate or contenders level caliber gameplay that we might see in other tournaments. But, man, is the competition between all of these teams pretty fierce. Taking a look at the standings, our first matchup is actually going to be a pretty close one. You've got Moshannon Valley and Windber going to be competing in the first game today, and they are neck and neck right now for that 4th and 5th spot. So this particular series, I'm very excited to see it unfold.
Yeah, me too. Like you said, they're right next to each other in the standings. They're Windber 2-2 currently, and Moshannon Valley is 1-2 because if we go back, they had to postpone a game because of weather, I believe. Yeah, that's the first game of the evening, and it's gonna be super good. We got a pretty stacked teams coming out, especially for the side of Moshannon Valley. They've got Jaden and Austin S on that tank line here, Jeremy and Teddy on the DPS line, and Annabelle and Austin rounding it out with the supports.
Yes, and the only tragic thing is that we haven't gotten to see as much of Moshannon Valley as we would really like. I'm really looking forward to seeing this roster in action, but we've gotten to see plenty from Windber over the course of this season. On the tank role, of course, you have Raymond and Logan. I think Raymond is actually making their debut, at least for me. I'm a little less familiar with them. Of course, Ben and Garrett are going to be on that DPS lineup, and Gage and Veronica rounding out the composition with a healthy support duo. This series is going to be really interesting. It is still that best kind of first to two, best of three format. So Lijiang Tower is going to be the first map to set the stage for how these teams want to play.
Yeah, and Lijiang Tower really bodes itself well to that Symmetra-based compositions, especially where we're loading in currently. We're heading into Control Center, and I mean, Brawl is normally the default coming out from these two teams. Maybe a double shield if you're feeling a little spicy, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to see Brawl coming out from these two teams.
Yeah, invariably, it's gonna be brawl-oriented compositions, and really, we've seen that that's the preferred style of gameplay, really across the board in terms of all the TEC high school league teams. No surprise from Moshannon to see the Moira and the Mercy being opted here for by Austin W and Annabella. Meanwhile, for Windber, you're looking at just as much sustain with the Brig in the lineup, but the thing is that Gage is going to have to be really mindful about their Inspire uptime percentage. Meanwhile, spam damage DPS on both sides, Hog on both sides. This one's going to be fun.
It definitely is. As well, it looks like Moshannon Valley are going to be starting it off on this point. They've already got some control, especially with this Junkrat, but ooh, I thought that was a pick already coming out from the side of Windber. But they're going to have the charge in coming in from Jaden, and they're going to find one out as well. There goes Gage out of this fight. It's going to be traded, but it's still anyone's game at the moment. But now Windber is starting to open things up into their favor as Garrett getting that headshot onto Teddy there. But in all this chaos, Moshannon Valley has already taken a point progress to start things off, but for how much longer is the real question, because there's just an overwhelming number for the side of Windber coming through, and it looks like they're gonna have to give it up.
Yeah, you're still going to see a fierce contest here from Moshannon Valley. The whole hog ended up getting expended there from Logan as well. So resources are being invested here from Windber, but it might not get the payoff that they want.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna get traded out. They have to, but there it goes. Yeah, again, Garrett with a headshot and the Riptire finding out Jaden, as this should be all they need, as Ben on this Junkrat just finding pick and damage after damage. The Shatter does come out and is used by Jaden on the side of Moshannon Valley, but it doesn't really find much value and might have been better suited for a second fight coming up, as Garrett finds 3 late.
Definitely, and I think that that's the big lesson to learn here for Moshannon as early in the series as possible, is just to know when to cut your losses and find the opportunity to regroup. Definitely glad that the revive from Veronica didn't go through there for Moshannon. This is essential time that they need to regain their bearings. There's the Dragons committed in the choke, though. It's not necessarily the start to this fight, but Moshannon Valley now pushing through the White Room absolutely is.
Yeah, and they're pumping in some damage. Garrett, again, with this but here comes the whole hog coming out now. Not gonna find what you want, because Garrett there with the storm arrows to take out Austin S on that Roadhog. But the side of Moshannon is coming back strong with a 2K coming in from Teddy on that Junkrat. Ooh, but maybe not. They might not have done enough, but no, that the cleanup is going to be there as an interesting decision coming in from Jeremy to use that, the Molten Core.
I can totally understand the reasoning behind it. You know, Moshannon is down manpower right now, so the Molten Core just is a kind of discouragement here for Windber Ramblers to really push in. Ooh, things getting a little close there for Garrett walking into the trap. There's the Shatter from Moshannon as well, doesn't connect.
That does not connect. Baited out there by Raymond on that. Ooh, but a Dragon Strike coming out. There comes the Riptire as well as a nice flick coming in from Garrett. Garrett and Ben popping off all control center log on these two DPS heroes that they're playing.
Yeah, next thing you know, Windber has forced this matchup into that last fight territory. We have to see Moshannon get a touch here in the next 3 seconds. The rally, however, bolstering the defenses of Windber, and you don't get the touch from the Gaming Knights. For now, Moshannon will be down 1 submap in this first control point map.
The good thing about it is there's 2 more to win if you are the side of Moshannon. And now you're going to be going into maybe more, less of a restrictive type of composition. There's a lot of different variations that you can run on towers here. But it's not looking like we're seeing any swaps coming out, which is very interesting to say the least, except for this Bastion.
Yes! Everyone's favorite Omnic hero is going to be enabled. It's going to be Teddy, and hopefully Austin W and Annabella will be able to provide them the care that they need to find value. There's still a lot of spam damage that they'll be playing into, though. Windber, without the Zen in their lineup, the easiest way to thwart that Bastion is going to be Garrett on this Hanzo pick. We'll see if they're able to do that with an opening pick here. Ooh, they get picked.
Yeah, they get picked there by Jeremy on this Torbjorn and getting set up already, especially with a turret kill as well. Now Moshannon Valley are going to be very hard to get off this point because of this Bastion Torbjorn setup. Oh, no, just I say that, Jeremy goes off the side of the map. A nice fire strike does come through from Jaden, but Windber, so it's going to be really difficult for Windber now to come into this point because of this Bastion setup, though.
Yes, and the thing about having the Bastion in the lineup is that that's space created, right? So what I would really love to see from Moshannon, from Jaden in particular, is just uninhibited aggression. A little bit less shield holding and a lot more of those aggressive pins. Maybe not at that time, but I love the energy behind it.
Yeah, Ben is going to open things up, and now it's just going to be an easy cakewalk for the rest of Windber to come through. Just off the back of a nice Riptire in from Ben, who we've seen pop off every time they get a Riptire.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, you know, Garrett on this Hanzo is absolutely terrifying to play against. For Moshannon Valley, part of the win condition is setting up a bunch of different angles. They're already doing that. There's an aggressive pin there as well from Jaden. Doesn't quite connect to anything. But now they're free swinging.
Yeah, and there goes Raymond off the side of the map. This is going to give them so much free reign now. But just as I say, the Dragon Strike takes out the Moira and as well the Mercy going down. That is a nice, easy fight win for the side of Windber.
Yeah, and you know, this whole time, the point is kind of flip-flopping back and forth. Windber is definitely at an advantage here in terms of point progress that they've accrued, but Moshannon Valley, with a well-executed strike, they can retake control and start getting a lead in on this series. Watch out for that turret in an effort to LOS it. Garrett falls to their doom.
Oh, and there comes the Molten Core out as well here from Jeremy. Gonna try to keep them away, but there goes the Mercy out of this fight. The Riptire coming through as well from Ben as the Shatter connects, as that is another huge play coming in from Ben on that Junkrat hero.
Yeah, that's insane. Not only are they building tires in a really timely manner, but every tire has so far found value. Part of it is because you know it's a hard ult to get rid of for their opposition. And wow, look at that! Both DPS for Windber just popping off right now.
Yeah, there goes the picks after pick. From the side of Windber, the Coalescence going to be invested here by Moshannon to try to turn it back. I mean, it is last fight territory and you need to do something, but Ben has already taken down your Moira and you don't have that coal healing any longer. And yes, no one's going to be able to touch from the side of Moshannon as Windber take map number 1 and go up in the series 1-0.
Yeah, and the thing about, at least in the regular season for TEC High School League, what this puts Moshannon Valley into is a harrowing position. They're in match point now, and they have to bring it back on the No, let me check my notes on the hybrid, no, the escort game mode, which is very doable. I'm a big fan of the next map that we'll be heading to, and kind of like the way that compositions and strategies can become a little bit more versatile the more maps of Lijiang Tower you end up playing. I think that the same can be said of the escort mode that we'll be heading into. It's going to be Rialto for the next map, and this is an opportunity for Moshannon to really establish themselves in this series. We want to see more aggression from them. We want to see more angles. We want to see more engagement uptime from all of the members of Moshannon. But man, Windber is making that very difficult.
Yeah, it definitely is, because I mean they're just so restrictive with what they're running on that DPS role, especially and not even just that. Logan on that Roadhog as well. If you get caught out of position, you're gonna most likely get hooked into that team, and that damage that's gonna come out from the DPS and then Raymond on that Reinhardt is just massive, and they need to be able to either play a lot more together or play a more death ball style composition that you don't have to be together to get more picks, and you can get picks on with especially your DPS on their own.
Well, one of the things when you are approaching a difficult matchup to consider is, what is the opponent's win condition, right? For Windber, really, because I mean, I don't think of a name that you didn't say there for Windber. A hero that wasn't a threat to Moshannon, being run by Windber. Part of their win condition is having that follow up. When you have Garrett and Ben so proactive about following up on Raymond and Logan's plays, when you have so much care and assistance being provided by Veronica and Gage, it can be difficult to figure out how to actually approach an engagement. Like I said, part of that for Moshannon Valley is really setting up alternative angles, split the attention here of the Windber Ramblers so that you can then push down that main corridor or make that off-angle flank style play with Austin S on this Roadhog pick. So, again, going back to, this win condition that Moshannon has to thwart, a good way to do that is just going to be making sure that they all are constantly enabling each other, like you said, kind of playing that death ball, stacking on top of each other.
Yeah, and I don't know. They're going to be trying to run this Torb Bastion yet again. I would have really liked to see like you were saying, take off angles. I would love to see a Pharah or an Echo come out from this team, or a Tracer. It just gives so much more versatility, more angles because of how mobile those heroes are. That you're not going to be focused down as quickly or as easily as you would have been on this composition that they're running, as they're going to already take out the Bastion early on. Teddy goes down. It is going to be rezzed up there, but well, there it goes. Yeah, again, Garrett with another headshot. Taking out the Moira is huge going forward.
Massive.
And because, I mean, there's just so much healing gone from the side of Moshannon now. As they're going to have to back up a little bit, and they don't have this res any longer. As they're going to charge in here. They do get Raymond on that Reinhardt, but it's still not looking good for them. They did buy a couple of minutes, but no, just I say that Austin S on this Roadhog does find two of their own. They're still keeping them in the spawn. They do take out Jaden, and then now it does look like they're gonna have to back up.
Yeah, which is a safe bet. Oh no, they back up into a trap, and now Austin S is out of the lineup, at least for a little bit longer from Moshannon. Oh, that was definitely an overextension from Annabella as well. Definitely the position to maintain there was closer to Austin W and to Teddy here, who consecutively goes down. And this is what I'm talking about, this follow-up here from the DPS for Windber. It's, the tanks are definitely making space here for the Ramblers, but the DPS are demanding their own level of attention here from Moshannon. Oh, and the hook isn't even
counter hook. The counter hook coming in. Oh, man. It was just a funny little play coming in from Ben there on that Junkrat, just diving on top of the Bastion. They didn't know where he was coming from. It's like Batman in the night. Ben coming out, but and they do fall down. They get their revenge. It's for the time being, but ooh, and the shatter does come out as well. They're gonna connect it out to Garrett, and they're gonna get a couple of picks. They're gonna get 3 here off the back of Jaden. They're gonna use this the tank configuration as well. They're gonna try to turn this back. Is Ben? They've got this Riptire online, and they've already got 2 picks to go with, and they're just gonna counter out this Bastion, get him off of this setup, and open the things up into the favor of the attacking squad.
Yeah, you know, that's a worthy solo tire right there, and you know, maybe less worthy close hold here on the objective for Moshannon. But I'll tell you, the thing that I like about Teddy's positioning right there on the Bastion is that it necessitated the tire to be committed to them instead of to the rest of their team. That means Moshannon is a little bit more free to play this close hold, but now they're suffering a man disadvantage.
Yeah, as Ben just continues to pump in that massive amounts of damage as well, with Ben getting into the faces. You're not going to normally see that from a Junkrat player. They're going to usually spam down from long range. Like you said, Ben has no fear. He's just going into the faces of this Bastion and just concussioning, mining him to oblivion.
Yeah, here's a Molten Core on the objective as well. It does end up getting Veronica out of the Ramblers lineup, and I think that the revive was expended by Gage a little bit earlier there. Now Gage is definitely not going to be able to revive. This is an opportunity for Moshannon to come back into this.
There he goes, yeah, again, Ben into the face of Oblivion. The Bastion going down to the Junkrat yet again, and the Riptire coming out, taking out Austin S. As the side of Windber continue to push up, and they still have a pretty decent time bank going forward here.
Yeah.
As Annabelle is going to try to get out, but no, they're not going to fall down to the arrow of Garrett yet again. They're going to try to start things off yet again. They've already gotten up to this point, as Jaden does go for the pin, does not find the pick that they were looking for, and now is in the back line of Windber. Gonna shatter. They do take out Raymond with it, and the whole log is going to find some value as well, taking out Ben. This is going to turn the clocks back for a little bit for the side of Windber. They're going to have to wait out.
Yeah, great picks here established for Moshannon. You get the revive to be expended here from Windber as well before Gage quickly collapses. Now it's going to be a all-out brawl between Teddy and anyone who dares cross their path here on the Bastion. Maybe feeling pretty confident here is going to push Ben and lose the 1v1. Unlucky.
Yeah, and as well, this Raymond is gonna find 2 of their own. They do go down in the end, but they just pump in so much damage that they win this fight off the back of that. A super aggressive play coming in from their Reinhardt, as their the Moire is a little bit over zealous right now, as they're gonna try to take this 1v1. Now it's gonna be a 6v1 against the Moira, trying to stay alive, and they are gonna get out with that fade ability. But there comes the Dragon Strike as well as the tank configuration. 2 picks for each of those DPS heroes, but it's still going to be Windber coming out on top.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, is just that even despite Moshannon getting a pick or 2, there's always the DPS ults online here for Windber. And this is why I'm really looking for Moshannon. I mentioned this on Lijiang Tower, but, you know, to know when to cut your losses, to back up, take a full 6v6 fight. That's the advantage that you need.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there, because we've seen so many times that they try to take these man down fights, and it never works in their favor. They might get a pick or 2, but in the end, it always turns back onto their head, and Windber gets all the advantage they need because of those. It's usually with a respawn advantage for the side of Windber.
Yeah, you know, Moshannon, they've got that clutch potential, right? We see Austin S on the off angle. We see Jaden is actually able to commit to and get away with some pretty awesome shatters as well. There, after the capture of first point for the Ramblers, they were trying to equalize with a revive, got totally canceled there by Jaden's Earth Shatter. Great stun. And so you saw as well, you know, on second point when Teddy is all set up and Austin S is kind of monitoring that off angle as well. Between the 2 of them, they each get 2 picks, and they stymie out that time bank for Windber just a little bit. But, you know, going back to, again, it's kind of this persistent effort to take fights, to engage into a position or onto a target that might be less ideal. That's really the big setback that the Valley, that the Gaming Knights here are incurring. For the Ramblers, it's a great demonstration of how exactly, you know, to to come back out of a man disadvantage. You know, you don't need to take 6v6 fights every single time, especially if you've got those DPS ultimates online. And now the close hold is going to be assumed here by Windber as well. Or are they backing up?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably assuming that the Bastion was going to come out yet again, so they were going to test the waters a bit. But in the end, we have a Widowmaker on the field, and we've already seen someone go down to the that rifle of Widowmaker there, but it's not going to matter in the end because, well, Moshannon Valley's got the what we like to call the pirate ship locked up
sir.
on onto the cart, and you're not going to really stop that without a lot of damage coming out from the defending squad.
This is where I think we see Windber default back onto that star DPS lineup, the Hanzo and the Junkrat. Already, you know, Ben is on that junk, and it looks like Raymond really wanted to go in there, is going to get punished for it. This is an advantage here for Moshannon. They're going to be able to capture this first point. Look at the obscene amounts of damage that Teddy is able to do.
They do take out Austin on that on the Mercy there, but I mean, that respawn advantage is going to be so close to them. Oh, they do lose Jaden for the time being, but they do, I mean, obviously they get the trade with it. So in the end, Moshannon is just going to continue to stay on this cart and get more progress. Oh no!
Austin S! It lost their footing there, tripped on a pebble there on the streets of Rialto. This is going to force a disengagement here from Moshannon unless something big happens on the front lines from Jaden.
Yeah, well, here comes the molten core out from Jeremy to keep them away, and the shatter is going to connect to a couple. That's going to find a couple of picks off the back of it as well. With this, with that tank configuration, not going to find many picks from it, but the damage is going to be done, and Moshannon Valley are going to continue to push forward. Garrett does take out Austin W, but I mean, it's going to be a little too late here.
Yeah, quite possibly. Look at this. The pirate ship is all ready and set up. Here's the tire to thwart it, and it's absolutely massive. There's Ben popping off once again.
Yeah, Ben with these ripped tires have been incredible, and they're going to come back strong, do Windber here, and get everything they need. The Valkyrie is going to be used late in this fight, but they've got so many ultimates here, Ethan, that it might not really matter in the end.
Yeah, as well as an opening pick there onto Austin W. It's, two opening picks onto both supports for the Gaming Knights. That's a little unlucky, and that's definitely a good indication to just back up, but still Moshannon wanting to push this, wanting to establish those off angles, and you know, they're just going to have to get punished for it there. This enables them to get that full reset.
Yeah, and it builds them more ultimates to Windber, as now they had a couple, they had one or two, and now they're up to 4 for this next fight. And this should be very well. No, they might not even need it now because Annabelle is out of this fight early on yet again from a nice headshot from Garrett, who has just been incredible yet again on this Hanzo roll.
Yeah, in the constant enablement that Ben is getting from Gage as well is absolutely something to praise. Attentive support gameplay, that is what I am all about, as well as a little bit of that ego dueling that we're seeing from Annabella on the sniper healer Anna there as well.
Ooh, and there's the shatter coming out from Raymond. Gonna connect to 3, and then you're gonna follow it up onto everyone else with especially the help of that amplification matrix coming out from Veronica.
Yeah, and this is Windber's win condition here on defensive Rialto, is the stymie on Streets phase. You've knocked Moshannon Valley off of the objective with that massive rip tire from Ben earlier, and now all you have to do is prevent the Gaming Knights from getting reset back up. For Austin, S, and Jaden, it's a challenging mission ahead of them to figure out where to set up.
And there they go into the canals of Rialto. Going down is Jaden, and then there's a nice pin coming through from Raymond into the spawn room of Moshannon Valley. Not going to find the pick you wanted, but is going to buy them more time, and more time off the clock is always good.
Windber's got 3 ultimates here. There's both DPS holds coming out. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
it's not gonna. Yeah, and both of them are gonna find value. That Dragon Strike keeping them apart. But the damage coming out from the Riptire is there as well as Windber are bringing it down. It's down to 1:30 on the board here.
Yeah, and that's a little harrowing, especially considering that you're down 2 now. There's some justice expended from Jaden. It doesn't amount to enough, though.
It does not indeed, as right now, if I was the side of Moshannon, I'd be swapping off this composition. I do like that they have the supercharger on the board, but it's going to be very difficult to get in onto this objective now that they've their cart progress has been stopped.
Yeah, and as well, their time bank has, like you mentioned earlier, been reduced down to 1 minute. Now, Jeremy on this Torbjorn with the Molten Core might be able to get a little bit of damage, but you need more.
Yeah, well, they're going to try to do something with the nano-boosted tank configuration, and they do.
Nice
They
picks.
find out Veronica on that Baptiste, which is huge, but it gets traded out, and then from the Garrett on this Hanzo. Yeah, again, finding these picks when they need to, and Ben, just as courageous as ever, taking out Jaden with some nice concussion mine placements. The Riptire coming through as well. Gonna find that pick on to Jeremy, and they're gonna clear things up again. And there's 15 seconds remaining, Ethan.
Yeah, that's not enough time to get a stable presence on this objective as well, considering that Austin S is still respawning, coming up on the supercharger. It's not going to be able to be deployed in time. Can Jeremy touch?
It does not look like anyone's gonna be able to touch Ethan, and well, the side of Windber are going to be your winners of the first matches of tonight's stream. And I mean, yeah, I mean, if I don't really want to just dissect Moshannon Valley, but I do want to say, if the pirate ship is broken, you gotta switch off of it.
You know, it's that age-old question for organized competitive Overwatch, right? And that is, mid-game adaptation, flexibility versus commitment to strategy. And so to see teams committed to a particular strategy, that's always actually really heartwarming to me. I'm not gonna lie. I shouldn't like the pirate ship composition, but I do. Ultimately, the question for Moshannon is, kind of once you do get knocked off, right? Once the pirate ship is thrown overboard, how do you get back onto the deck? And then if you can't, then what mid-game adaptations do you make? Ultimately, Windber was also dedicated to a similar strategy throughout the duration of the series. And so I think that it just in that matchup of, the pirate ship with the double shield, brawl damage or a brawl comp with spam damage, I think Windber just has to emerge on top of that because of their strategy.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. As we saw, Garrett and Ben were just continuously getting picks after pick, and we kept saying Ben was just fearless throughout that entire series. They did not care you had a Bastion on the field. He was getting in their faces and taking away what makes a Bastion so valuable is that the chance to set up and feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. For Moshannon Valley, this is not a brutal loss to incur. This was a matchup that I was very excited to see unfold. And, my expectations, they were satisfied. Here from Moshannon, this is an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and figure out what that winning strategy really looks like. And as well, how to emulate the strength of Windber that was demonstrated today in terms of how proactive they are about looking after each other. Very exciting to see Windber just gradually evolve over the course of the TEC High School League, and there's definitely a lot more to look forward to from the Moshannon Valley Gaming Nights as well.
Yeah, definitely. As we're going to head to a break, we'll be back in a little bit with Somerset versus Forest Hills. You're not going to want to miss that. Two top teams in the TEC High School League. But for right now, we're going to a break. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the long wait. Unfortunately, our second match was forfeited, and that should be cleared up in the future as Berlin is dropping out of the tournament. But we're here now at 5:30 with Somerset versus Forest Hills, and it should be hopefully another good match. I would love to see Forest Hills pushed to the brink by a team.
Yeah, and if there's any matchup that's going to where that's going to happen, it's going to be in this Somerset Golden Eagles versus Forest Hills Rangers match. Joker, this was a matchup that you and I have actually been eagerly anticipating over the duration of the last couple of weeks, and finally, it's come to a head today. Taking a look at the standings, this is the number 1 seed versus the number 3. That's going to be in favor of Forest Hills, who have currently gone undefeated in the regular season. Somerset area Golden Eagles are going to be looking to knock down that win rate just by a tad, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see that fabled map 3.
Yeah, and they're gonna go against a really Somerset's gonna go against a really tough Forest Hills Rangers team in the fact they have Devo and Flip Stingray on that tank line, Bloodhound and Vaco rounding out that DPS, and Jegworld and Kaede on that support line. And if anything is to say about this team is they're very confident because they don't have their 2-star DPS players on the DPS role in Flip Stingray and Kaede.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. But I think that well, actually, we did see a lot from Kaide, I think, on the Hanzo or the Tracer the other day, and so to see them fall back onto a different role is going to be interesting. At the very least, what just by the ability to off roll here for Forest Hills is that they're versatile in a myriad of styles and have flexibility within their hero pool. That's always fun to see. Flexibility is going to be the name of the game here for the Somerset Golden Eagles. Their roster includes MJ Plays and Savo Prowler on the front line. Seen big things from Savo in the past on that Reinhardt. Arson, Uwu, and Yibo are going to be tasked with fortifying those off angles, preventing Kaide and Flip Stingray from getting the value they want. Meanwhile, Kitten Spy and Thick Swiss with consistent, attentive support gameplay, as well as capitalizing on opportunities to maybe go a little bit aggressive. Those are all things that we can look forward to.
Yes, indeed, indeed. And like the last game, we started out on Lijiang Tower. We're here yet again going to that same map. Where we start, however, is not guaranteed. And we did start on Control Center last time, which is that brawl type of brawl type map. But again, there's so many different compositions that can be ran on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, if you end up on a control center, most teams are going to go for that rush brawl mirror matchup. But you head over to Gardens or Night Market, and things get a little bit more flexible. On Gardens, it's very frequent to see maybe a Roadhog for those cheeky environmental eliminations, or that 6-man dive brawl composition. For Night Market, it's becoming more and more common to run that chaos disruption oriented comp. I still honestly anticipate again just the brawl being a team favorite amongst all of our contenders here in the TEC High School League. I do anticipate it to be a kind of brawl rush mirror, even if that brawl forgoes the Reinhardt and ends up on a double bubble or that 6-man kind of look.
Yeah, definitely. As now we're loading into the game, and well, we're starting off here. Somerset opting for this brawl composition, and Forest Hills, we're going for a disruption-based composition. Flip Stingray opting for the Wrecking Ball for the time being here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to finally get my dose of the hamster here from Forest Hills in the High School League. You just don't see a lot of that Wrecking Ball gameplay, but we have gotten our fill of Diva in the past from NJ Plays. They definitely have their work cut out for them as far as dispatching some of the impending threats like Flip Stingray already on the point. Wow, that's a solid pick to start off on both sides here as well.
Oops, sorry, I had my microphone muted there for a second. But, well, it's even all around to start things off here, but with the Symmetra, the turrets getting a pick on to Vaco, that's going to be huge, and it's going to be a lot of incoming damage that's no longer going to be there for the side of Forest Hills. They do get that D-Mech onto MJ Plays, and now things are going to be opening up for them. A CBG hotshot coming through with a 3K with that Junkrat.
Massive. You know, we already got our fill of Junkrat in the previous series from Ben of Windber Ramblers, but you know what? Here's a little bit more. For Somerset Golden Eagles, there's Swamp as well. Kitten Spy's going to opt for the Moira here, and Big Swiss ends up getting picked. A little unlucky. It's just going to delay their re-engagement time, but this is a step in the right direction. That Lucio Mercy healing comp, it's just not quite enough sustain to enable Salvo Prowler from being as aggressive as they would like. We'll see that rectified here by the support swaps, but can they find an entrance to this point? Ooh, yeah, there's one.
That is the question, but Vaco is taking down Yibo, and then there goes CBC hotshot yet again, getting another pick in this fight too. Make it 2 for both of the DPS there for the side of Forest Hills, and the rest of Somerset are just gonna have to back up and regroup here.
Yeah, you see already here that the terms of engagement are all being set by the Forest Hills Rangers. There's a late pick there onto MJ Plays as well. CBG coming up on a Riptire. Vaco already armed with a tactical visor is going to find a little bit of a contest from their mirror matchup and Yibo, and the minefields are already expended.
Yeah, the minefields are going to go out and get Salvo Prowler because, well, they got separated from their team and their healers because of it. And, well, there goes it yet again for the side of the Rangers, taking out Somerset, sending him back to spawn. No, they're going to still keep on going, pushing forward to get the rest of these stragglers out of here.
Look at Kaede, that's a third DPS in the roster right there. Finding critical hit after critical hit. That is Zenyatta's Transcendence. You know, you compare that in Lucio's Sound Barrier. Lucio's Sound Barrier, it generally takes a little bit longer to charge, but with constant damage from Kaede, that Transcendence is going to be easy to acquire.
Well, we do have Salvo Prowler on the point. They're going to be easily dispatched by Vaco with that Pocket Mercy. And, well, that's going to be the first round going into the favor of Forest Hills. Not much of a contest coming in from Somerset. Hopefully they can turn things up, especially if we go. No, we're not going to go into Night Market, which they would have probably liked to, especially since they were opting for that Symmetra early on.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what not going to Night Market also means is that Flip Stingray is going to have to opt out of the ball, at least maybe for a fight or two here, and go back to that Brawl composition. Something to pay really close attention to is how aggressively Flip Stingray is going to be able to play versus how aggressively Salvo Prowler is not going to be allowed to play. Here, there's so much damage on the side of Forest Hills. Thick Swiss and Kitten Spy have their work cut out for them in terms of making sure that their front line get the resources they need.
Interesting thing, neither Thick Swiss or Jegworld are playing a Lucio into this surge, opting for the Mercy, as the side of Forest Hills have already started things off into their favor, as Flip Stingray is looking to get some picks on to the rest of Somerset. Is there both Reinhardt swinging for the fences right now, and in the end, Flip Stingray is going to come out on top of Salvo Prowler and clean things up for the side of Forest Hills.
I mean, Immortality Field to prevent lethal instances of damage, or Revive from Jegward. You know, you're absolutely right. There is no Lucio in the lineup for either of these teams, but there is a good substitution coming in from Somerset. They're going to, Kitten Spy is going to hop off the Moira and onto the Baptiste. So the support matchup is now mirrored. Now, Somerset just has to find a way to get out as much damage as Forest Hills has been pelting into them.
Yeah, that is the name of the game right now. The Shatter does come out from Flip Stingray. Not going to find what you wanted with it, but it does not seem to matter Thick Swiss does get the res onto Savo Prowler. Maybe they can turn it back, but no, there's just so much damage coming in from the side of Forest Hills that they can't really do much more than what is given to them at this moment. Somerset does take down Vaco, and the shatter comes through as well. It is a pretty decent shatter coming out from Savo Prowler, but I mean, it's not going to be enough to flip the fight into the favor of Somerset.
No, it's something also to look at here. Oh my goodness, as Kaede reminds us that Baptiste is indeed a support hero with 3 final blows. That was with the help of the Matrix, but Kaede's in the spawn of Forest Hills. That's absolutely ludicrous. They're looking for more blood to shed.
Yeah, looking for more, but it does seem like they're going to be caught out here. No, the immortality field is going to be used. It is going to finally go down, and Arson Uwu is going to take out Kaede, but then Flip Stingray comes through and shatters Yibo out of existence. And well, right now it's really interesting. We see Flip Stingray in the front towards the spawn of Somerset, but then there is a fight going on everywhere else, as Arson Uwu was found 2 in this fight, and MJ plays as well, getting that self-destruct kill onto CBG Hotshot. This is going to go into the favor of Somerset now because of it.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get a little bit of agency on this objective, but who knows how long that's going to last. Forest Hills with a lot of tools of the trade in order to swing this back in their favor, banking on an early Riptire here from Arson Uwu to stop the fight before it actually begins. Oh, that's not online anymore!
Yeah, it's not any longer, as now CBG Hotshot's gonna pop their Riptire of their own and take out Yi, but the Deadeye coming in from the top ropes, gonna find Kitten Spy, as they're going to try to do something, get this Riptire coming in from spawn. They need a miracle play coming in right now. They do get 3. Arson Uwu with a big play, but now they need to be able to touch. They do get a touch in the end, but they need to get more. The shatter comes out, lays down 2, and no, someone is going to be able to touch, but 3 picks go into the favor of Forest Hills. Salvo Prowler does get 1 back, taking out their counterpart of their main tank, with another charge as well, taking out Jegworld. This could be enough for Somerset to win this out, but no, Devo and Vaco say no, taking out Arson Uwu and Thick Swiss, and that should be all they need to clean up this remaining amount of characters. Emo does use that tac visor, but it's not going to find any value, as Forest Hills take map number 1.
In a relatively decisive fashion as well. That was all of those team fights broke out pretty quickly. I mentioned earlier, the terms of engagement were all being established there by the Forest Hills Rangers. Kaede is an absolute menace in the backlines of the Golden Eagles. Look at this. This is nutty. Yeah, that's unreasonable.
Very unreasonable indeed. Almost Shu-esque, if you would say, coming in from Kaede there.
We'll have to see the tides begin to turn a little bit heading into Rialto. That is going to be our next map, and maybe if we make it all the way, we'll get to see a 2CP draw Skya game. But you can't bank on that quite quickly. There's an investment that has to be made here from Somerset Golden Eagles, and I think most of that investment has to be in terms of the target prioritization for the Golden Eagles. We saw there when the Rangers were playing a little bit silly, to be honest, that things started to turn a little bit for the Golden Eagles. So for Forest Hills, absolutely, they're walking in with a target in mind. You see every time Flip Stingray takes up the front line or goes in for a pin, there's a specific target in mind, and let Forest Hills get away with it for this first map, and now punish them for trying to do that kind of thing heading into map 2. That's going to be part of the solution here for the Somerset Golden Eagles heading into the escort game mode, which is a little bit better for fostering that team play, that focus fire. It's not quite like the glorified team deathmatch that Control Point ends up being.
Well,
oh, Joker, you're lagging.
Boy.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I think I can hear you.
If you want
No, he's still lagging. That's okay. I can keep rambling on and on. Heading into Rialto, it's one of my personal favorite maps just because it offers a lot of flexibility in terms of the compositions that you can run, the heroes that you can play. It's often on this map that you see the Pharah and the Mercy duo taking to the skies and building up rapid barrages. That Pharah ultimate is so devastating, even in the presence of defensive ultimates like Transcendence and Sound Barrier, which increase the collective health pool quite dramatically. And but there's opportunities here for Somerset to pull the rug out from Forest Hills, maybe with some changes in their strategy, some adaptations in the comps that they want to run. We are going to throw to a brief break while we get a technical issue sorted out. So stay with us. We'll be right back.